Hello, hello, friends. You are listening to the We Rise Together podcast. This is a weekly podcast where 5 women have come together to help you and encourage you to living the best life you could possibly live. We base all of our life on certain areas, and that's what this podcast is about. We hold each other up, we encourage ourselves and others in all the areas of life that need to be loved and taken care of. Areas like your finances and your faith, your family and your friends. We don't leave out fun, and we definitely don't leave out what we do for a living. So I hope you will join us every single week right here on this podcast. If you want to see us live, you can find us on YouTube. If you want to get to know us better and be a part of our community, please go over to Facebook. You can find the link in the description of this video. We have a Facebook group called We Rise Together, and we would love to have you join us in that group. So join us every single week right here, and don't forget, life is better when we rise together. Hey, friends. We are back with episode 10. I cannot hardly believe that it's been 10 weeks, 10 episodes, 10 amazing subjects that we've talked about together. And we've even had a special guest. If you didn't catch last week's episode, please do that. So today we are going to share our lives with you guys. I, for one, am really, really excited to share my life with you. But first, I'm going to let our friend Krista take the wheel on this one. She might have to leave us here shortly, so I want to make sure that she gets her 2 cents in and you guys get to know her a little bit better.
Thanks, Corey. Yeah, we always want my 2 cents in, right? Okay. I don't know, when I just kind of wanted to reflect over like the last 10 weeks of just some different things that have changed in my life from just doing this podcast and being to work with the group of these 4 ladies. Just like the relationship that we've built, the confidence that I've seen, and just the community, like building a community for you guys to reach out to us and see us in public and say, hey, I listened to the podcast. I mean, it is a really good feeling. So, I mean, first of all, I want to say thank you to all of our viewers and listeners for following us and hanging out with us, because literally we're a group of 5 women that have everyday lives. I mean, I'm running around crazy. You guys know, I think I told you first episode, I have a set of twins. They're 6. And I have Bridger, and he's 19 months, but I mean, he acts like he's 6 too, because his brothers teach him everything. And it's kind of funny because people don't realize that or really understand my schedule. And I've had my dad here for a couple of days with some appointments, and he had surgery today. And yesterday he looked at me and he's just like shook his head. And I'm like, see, that's what happens. I'm on my toes constantly with him. So I'm enjoying these, a couple of years with Bridger and stuff, but I really love the community that we've created, and I feel like it's kind of guided me for the future, because I really have a desire to impact people, especially people that have suffered with addiction, new moms that want to stay home with their babies, or new moms that are honestly feeling like crap and just think it's new mom. It's not new mom. Like, your body is off balance. And so having the right supplements and tools in my toolbox to be able to offer that to people, I think is amazing. And I'm excited for the opportunity to feel confident and comfortable to share with people. I went through like a 20-year addiction, and I just told my dad yesterday, because February 8th was 2 years since I've been clean. And I finally am starting to tell people, thanks everybody. I'm finally starting to tell people, because you've got to help. When you're ready for help, when you deal with addiction and you call, in a month or 2 months, it's like people need help now. So I want to be able to help provide people with those tools to get the help that they need, to be the stay-at-home mom that they want to be, and to still be able to provide a financial income to their family. And I mean, I have long-term goals of, I would love to homeschool my boys and just travel the world and teach them school that way. That is ultimately a dream, along with helping people. So my day every day is just kind of like chaotic. I literally am that stay-at-home mom trying to run a couple of businesses and chasing 3 boys and still giving my husband attention to. And that's another thing that I've learned from these ladies is you need that family time. And, listening to some of them with their bonds with their husband and stuff, I'm like, our family life has like completely changed that part of the F. So again, I want to thank everybody for listening and supporting us. And with that, I am just going to go ahead and pass it to Carrie because I love her smile right now.
Give me 1 second, Carrie. I just want to say something about your story there, Krista, because, and this just came to mind, and I apologize. I don't mean to steal your show.
Oh, you're good.
You and I had a conversation not too long ago, probably been a few months, but the amount of growth that I've seen in you, the conversation that you and I had, you were so scared to tell people about what you had been through. And you asked me, you were like, what do I do? How do I do this? How do I not let people think this way of me and tell this story to people that love me and care about me, and my mom and my dad and my cousins and my, all my family. And I don't know how they're going to feel, and I don't know what they're going to think. And how do I move into impacting people and helping them with their recovery and addiction and all the things that I want to do in life? And the fact that you told your dad yesterday, like, I'm so proud of you, because that was hard for you. I know it was hard for you. I know the fear that you had facing that. And I feel like that's going to move you and catapult you into a place of being able to accomplish giving other people the support they need, because you now know what it feels like to tell your loved ones that you were in this period of darkness and you made it through to the other side. So just wow. Like, I'm so proud of you right now.
I remember that conversation, Corey. I mean, and it's cool because literally 2 months ago, literally right now, I just told the whole world if everybody shares this podcast. I mean, so, in reality, I totally just went outside of my comfort zone. But that you gotta talk and you gotta let people know, because there's so many people that are suffering from addiction or even mental abuse, or there's so many things, and you need to have people that you can talk to and know that there is support there. And how would somebody know to call me tomorrow to get them to a treatment center if I didn't start talking about it? So kind of my mission to start talking about it. So happy to have this platform with you ladies. So thank you.
We're all super proud of you, and we're rooting for you. So.
Oh, Carrie, I think you're on mute.
You're on mute. You're muted.
She's the one that has the fancy microphone.
Yeah, that obviously I don't run very well. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, guys. Yeah, actually, Krista, when you were talking about that, it reminded me of when I was asked to do the book collaboration. And of course, I graciously said yes, because, of course, writing a book was on my bucket list. But when it came time and I started to write, and it occurred to me that I needed to be true, I needed to be authentic, but I knew that people were going to read what I wrote. And I had to, pull back and say, okay, am I ready for people to read that about me? Because there's things in, for sure in one of those books that I never told anybody in my whole life. So, but as soon as we do that, for one, it helps us deal with all of that, whatever it may be. But for us to be able to help anybody, we have to be real with ourselves first. We have to be true with ourselves. So kudos to you, because it wasn't easy. And I imagine it was probably not easy for you either. So right on. That's amazing. And other than that, what have I been up to? I have been up to actually so many things, you guys. I'm taking a super conscious magnetic mind course that I have been taking for almost a year. And I started, but it's really, really intense. But I think I'm kind of on the way of doing that. But at the same time, I don't want to kind of let everything else I've been doing, their Q Science businesses and the podcast and all of these things. So super busy winter, but I have to tell you, I'm not stressed out, which I find is absolutely amazing. And so I'm thinking, why am I not stressed out? Because normally this would be crazy. I mean, it's tax season, it's we have a trucking company, all of the things. I have to do T4s yet, which need to be done by end of February. I haven't even started. All of these things, normally I would not be sleeping at night. I did have a couple sleepless nights, not sleepless, just woke up like my friend Greta at 5 o'clock and went, oh, I can't go back to sleep. But not nearly as stressed out in past years. And I don't know what it is, you guys. I started to kind of think, what is it that I'm not so crazy stressed out? Because the world, I mean, let's be real, the world's a bit of a crap show right now. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that on here, but I mean, it's crazy, right? Chickens are burning and dying, and there's rivers being flooded and poisoning whole towns. There's fires being, it's just crazy. Normally that would kind of have me in a tither, but I look at the big picture of this, and this is going to sound bizarre, but it occurred to me that the C19 word that I don't like to talk about has actually been a blessing. It has been a blessing for me. And as much as I was so angry at the beginning of it, I'm absolutely not angry. And there's very, very few things that actually make me angry anymore with any of it. It's brought an awakening to me that I didn't have before it. It's just absolutely amazing. It really is amazing. I don't have fear. I don't have any of that. I mean, it's a crazy place right now. There's a lot going on in this world, but looking at that, I mean, just being able to communicate with you guys, I mean, that's fantastic. The other part of our business where we have the team that we can always reach out to, just growing as a human and knowing and experiencing all the things I've experienced with you guys and everything else. I'm just really grateful this winter. And I think that's what's helped me not be stressed out and crazy, is that just to be grateful for this. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and just finishing things and doing things and just really doing it, is taking it all one day at a time and making it work, right? Yeah, grateful for you guys.
I live my life just like that, Carrie. Like, I don't stress out anymore about stuff. And, I really don't think that I ever did. I feel like it stresses my family out and like my parents and sister more than it does me. Cause I'm like, it'll get done when it gets done. I mean, all we seriously have is today. So,
Right.
make the most of it.
Yeah.
So,
It's so funny, like pre-COVID, I would have been a mess right now, just thinking about all the crap going on and what I had to do. And I don't know. Yeah, it's the big picture of that is actually been good. Right.
That's amazing. Maybe I'll just piggyback off of you, and I think same thing. Just the last couple of years have been, like you said, crazy, and a lot of people were experiencing a lot of emotions and a lot of things. And for me, just the last, okay, let's say 10 weeks, because we really started this 10 weeks ago, which is kind of crazy to even say that because it feels like a couple days. But at the same time, the last 10 weeks, on the surface, nothing really has happened. Like, if, I'm still me and still same, busy lives and all that. But on the inside, it's been like insane, crazy changes. And same thing, I kind of thought about, what's going on with the world. I'm not a news watcher. We don't even have TV. But you hear it here and there and everywhere, and people tell you things. It would bother me a lot, right? Like a couple years ago, it would stress me out because you think of family and, where are we heading from here? But yeah, I actually told my husband, I said, it's like, I'm not scared. There's nothing. There's a there's a sense of peace and same gratitude. And I think it's just happened in the last little bit. I was always talking about, you have to be grateful for everything, even if it's a little thing, right? I always used to say, even if it's that first cup of coffee in the morning, because that's what I was usually grateful for, because I was always rushing in the morning, right? 6 o'clock, you gotta get going and go, go, go. And that one sip of coffee just in silence was something that I was always grateful for. But um just gratitude altogether. And um just the accepting the changes, as much as I wanted to fight my own intuition, my own brain, whatever it is, my own faith. It once I finally let go of some of those things started to make sense. Things started to be a lot more clear. And Carrie knows, I mean, all of you pretty much know that, there was some bit of anxiety going through me. So yeah, I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. There was one time Joanne caught me. But it was all, I think, internal growth, right? That growth inside, where you kind of realize that I don't always have to be in control.
Right. For me, it's like an awareness,
It
an
is.
awareness of how we need to look after ourselves, nurture ourselves with the food we eat and what we take in, what we hear, what we listen, what we feel,
Mhm.
all of that awareness. It's
Yeah.
just crazy, right?
I mean, just some of the reading that I've been doing recently, we all started something as well that has sparked certain things in me. And um, one of the things that really sticks out for me is that as much as I want to control my life, and of course we all kind of want to, right? We all want to do things and make things go the right way. Um, the more I let go of that, the better I felt. And yeah, the last 10 weeks have been kind of, I mean, really, if you told me even, 4 months ago that I was going to do a podcast, I would have laughed at you and be like, no, 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 I don't talk out in public like like I do to you guys. But it's been freeing. It's been kind of, I mean, we look forward to this. It's given us a bit of a awareness of um, what really people are looking for. And they're looking for a community, they're looking for connections, deeper connections, not just, hey, how are you, it's nice and sunny today, all right, see you later. Right, it's that deeper connection, whether it is something that we're going through, like Krista, and she wants to help people come out of that. Whether it is personal, where you realize you don't have to control your life to every single second. It's honestly, I mean, the only word I can use is freeing. So the last 10 weeks have been absolutely freeing for me. So I'll just leave it at that, because I'll just get emotional and not but yeah, I am very grateful for this community that we've created, and you ladies, and everything else that's just kind of put us on the path that we crossed each other's paths and now can move on and help so many more people.
Well, I'm just going to go from yours and just repeat that I'm grateful for this, our little group of 5 ladies that do this podcast that has grown. Sort of, we came together in a larger community that I'm grateful for. We still have that. So we we're very lucky because we have multiple layers of community and support, and we all came together for the same reason, but from so many different places. We have, all over the world, we have people from, and it's, kind of what's been going on the last few years. One of the silver linings was it gave us the opportunity to find other ways to reach out other than in person. And so, we've spent a lot of time in front of our screens on Zoom calls, but it's been freeing and it's been supportive, and it's helped, helped us get through other things going on in our lives that are not even associated with the world politics going on and everything. Myself, we've had some health issues in our family that have been kind of scary, but afterwards, looking back, it's like it was a silver lining because of what had happened, and it's also made me have to step up a lot. And so I was actually surprised myself that I was able to do that. But there were times I didn't think I could, and having the support that we've had, or that I had, has made that, quite a lot easier to do. Because like Krista, I want to help people. I just want to do it for different reasons. I mean, we all want to help people. That's why we're here. But right now, I've actually had to be helping myself and helping my family. And for a while, I was feeling a little bit guilty about that. And then I thought, no, well, wait a minute. And if you're a mom, you've heard this at least once. You've got to put your own oxygen mask on first. And then you can look after your family, right? So self-care. And I've learned not to feel guilty about that. I've learned not to as much. Let's just say I'm not quite where I want to be, but as much. The last 10 weeks, like Greta said, and it have been really interesting because 2 weeks before that, I would never have thought I would be part of a podcast ever. That was not even something on my bucket list, but I'm so glad that things fell into place that I've been able to do it. As you can see, I have, he misses me sometimes during the day, so he gets to join us today, and he's hugging me quite tightly, as a matter of fact. Yeah, the last 10 weeks, the book club that we started, the book that we started reading has made me realize things. And like you ladies, like Carrie said, this time of year usually pushes me kind of over the deep end a little bit for whatever reason. I mean, it's February, we still have snow, it's getting to be long winter. It's just everybody seems to get into some sort of funk in February, and this year I'm able to kind of withstand a lot of it, or be able to stand up despite everything around me. So I'm grateful for everything, and good, bad, and ugly, that's brought me to where I am right now, with who I'm with, doing what I'm doing, right?
Those are green lights. Those are called green lights. Everything that you guys are saying brings me to it. It's funny how we start this podcast and we don't technically know what we're going to talk about. Okay, I'm probably not supposed to tell the audience that, but we're not like professionals. We're like people, right? So we meet a couple minutes before and we're like, okay, how the flow is going to go. And every single podcast comes full circle every single time. And it amazes me because everything that you guys are talking about reminds me of the book Green Lights. I've been reading this book, and everything that it is by Matthew McConaughey. If you've never heard of it, which I can't imagine anybody on the planet hasn't heard of this book, but it's by Matthew McConaughey. And I highly suggest that you listen to it instead of read it, because he narrates it himself. And it is like, wow, like super powerful. But he talks about how even red lights and yellow lights turn into green lights. And every single thing that has happened over the past few years has appeared to be a red light. And even right now, there's a lot of red lights, but soon they will turn into yellow lights and eventually green lights. And for me, I've been doing so much work here on myself. The question came up before we started this podcast of, let's tell everybody who we are. Well, who are you? Right? That's the question that's been going through my mind this whole time. Who are you? Who am I? I'm a mom, right? I'm a mom of 4 kids. My youngest child is my only daughter, and she's 16. We've been going through trial and error with this kid. Like, this girl is wearing me out. I'm not. I was a young mom when my first kid came along and he wore me out. But I was young. I was in my 20s. I could handle that. I was good to go. I'm 45. This is not a good time, right? So it's like, who are you? And all of these things, these trial and errors that happen in our life, always you look back and you think, man, I've been through that before. It all ended up teaching me something. It all ended up pushing me in a direction that I didn't even know I wanted to go sometimes, right? When we were forced, oh my gosh, sorry, I'm old. Sorry, I had to move. For anybody not watching and just listening, that was me moving. So no, all of the stuff that we've been through for the last couple of years just has literally changed who we are as people, right? So like this morning I was doing a live on our Facebook group, the We Rise Together Facebook group. If you're not a part of that, you need to go find it. We Rise Together with a Z. That's my little sales pitch for this podcast. But I did a live in there today and I was talking about the possibilities, right? And this is who I am. This is literally who I am as a person. If the one question that I keep asking myself is, if I could do anything in the world, whether I get paid or not, what would that one thing be? And it's to help people break through their shit. Whether I can say that or not, I said it. It's to help people break through their shit. And more than anything, I have strived for a lot of years to be able to get to become the person that can provide that type of value to other people. And that self-doubt and that those limiting beliefs that creep into you when you think about the possibilities that are out there for you, they're very real and they stop you every second. And the example that I gave was that I'd been wanting to do this program and I've been stopping myself because I didn't think I could do it. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. I had this nudging in me that just kept saying, you just need to do it. You just need to do this. And you need to push the button, push it. And I was resisting that, a lot of resistance, right? And it was stopping the possibilities of what I had before me because I was resisting that little voice in my head that was nudging me to move forward. Push the button, you guys. I pushed it and it feels so good. And I already see a world opening up that I didn't even know was available until I pushed that button. And so it came to me that who I am is the person that wants to help you see that you can move past those limiting beliefs and actually grab a hold of those possibilities. And if it wasn't for the last couple of years of the self-reflection that was caused by the lockdowns, the family time, the fighting, the arguments, the trials with the teenagers, the son going off to the army, all of those little lights that I thought were red, all of a sudden they're just bink, 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 bink. They're all turning green. And so I think that, you know what's really funny? I never know how to end it out. I'm like, I just want to go, okay, the end. I'm done. I'm done. That's it. That's all.
How about green light?
Green light. Yeah, seriously, green light. Like that's it. Green light. Like, oh, he's just got the sexiest voice ever.
Actually, you know, I listened to that Audible last winter. One of the best Audibles I've ever listened to. Yeah, if you guys haven't done that, definitely do it, because, and I agree, Corey, him narrating it, amazing.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
100%. Like fire. 100. I've listened to it 2 times. I'm not joking.
Yeah, it's good.
Great. So I'm done. The end.
Well, you know what? Each and every one of us really, and maybe I'll just end this podcast with this. Each and every one of us truly have something to offer somebody. It's all 5 of us. We work from our heart. That's what we're about. We want to serve people. Each and every one of us do it in a different way, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So if you guys, like Corey said, if you all aren't in We Rise Together with a Z or Z, if you're in the US, Z if you're in Canada, sorry, get in that Facebook group, because there's lots of good stuff in there. But the other thing you might want to do is, you know what, you might want to know more about Greta. Go follow her socials. Greta puts up fantastic information. We all do. Joe, Krista, Corey, myself, we put out a lot of information, a lot of good stuff. Follow us. We'd love it if you follow us, and definitely get into the We Rise Together Facebook group, because we love
connect with us too.
Absolutely.
Not just follow us. I want to know you. I want to know who you are, and I want to know what your story is too.
Comment on our stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
tell us I heard you on your podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, you guys, you know what? I have to, I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Marlene Strumpik, who is listens to this podcast. I went to a funeral actually last week, and she came up to me and she said, "Carrie, it's so good to see you. You know what? I've been listening to your podcast." And to be honest, you guys, it was kind of like, oh, I wasn't, I was afterwards, I was like, that is so cool, because I've known this lady since we were like little kids, right? Her husband as well. So we were small town farm community. So everybody knew everybody. So thanks for listening to us, Marlene. And we would love the rest of the world to start to listen to us. So with that said, catch us next week, every week here. Find us on We Rise Together podcast. And remember, we rise together. Well, that's a wrap for this episode. We are so grateful you joined us as we discuss our experiences on our life's paths. Our vision, no matter where you are in your life path, is to add value to your life by sharing ours. You can find more incredible resources in our We Rise Together Facebook group. We'll leave the link posted in the show notes at the bottom. And until next time, we appreciate you, and remember, we rise together.